Marcus Rashford. Oh, glorious! That is a special one.
Boom, bam, bam. Welcome to the United Hour. I am President Chad, and on the inside with me, we got the man Robert, we got Mark Lewis, and we have also got Raul Edwards, the only number 7. You are looking at the United Hour. We are on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Now, a lot of things going on in the world of Manchester United. It looks like the Glazers are finally on their way out. They have put Manchester United up for sale. That is going to be the big topic we're going to be talking about. We're going to be going through all the possible owners as we answer the question, who is going to be owning Manchester United next? Who our next owner is going to be? And we also got to talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, because Manchester United and Cristiano Ronaldo has amicably parted ways. So we're going to be talking
who? Who's fired? Who's fired?
That's the political way of saying it.
Fired.
You know, we have to see it correct.
The politically correct way.
Welcome to the man Courtney on the inside.
Yeah, sir.
I'm trying to figure out my lighting here now. Oh.
So gentlemen,
right.
I want to start it off with. I want to start it off with. Let me read just comments first by Courtney, and then we will jump in. So Courtney is saying that until he sees an official bid, he is not believing it. I hear that. So let's run through some of these people who have been linked to purchasing Manchester United. Now, the Glazers, this club, did put out a statement. It is a very wordy, lengthy statement. I'm not going to waste your time reading it. You understand what I'm saying? However, I do want to talk about the statement a little bit. So I want to kind of put it in a couple of sentences. What they said is that they are seeking external restructuring of the club. Now, the wording of the statement leaves it open that if they don't get a sale, let's just say they don't get the money they want, and they get an investor, somebody who's willing to put some money in, and they use that to maybe fix up the stadium or fix up Carrington or something like that. You know, it leaves the statement leaves them open. Instead of doing like Liverpool's owners that came out flat and said, we are putting the club up for sale, United owners didn't say that. They said it in a technical way so that if for some reason the club is not sold, they're not going to have egg on their face, right? Hence the reason why I'm not going to waste time and read the statement for you all. However, that being said, the club is for sale. Estimated value, 5.8 billion. Raul, you are in the trunk there? Tell me by United now.
It have 5.8 billion particles of air in that tree.
We are that.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to Martin. Philip. Courtney is saying that he heard is 11 billion they're asking for. I've heard from the estimate of 5.8 billion to roughly about 10 billion, right?
Somewhere between it.
Different prices. We're not going to focus so much on the price right now. So let's jump into the weeds, gentlemen. Now, if you look at this program regularly, you would be a well-informed United supporter. Because on this program a couple weeks ago, when we were talking about the sale of Liverpool, I said to you all that I had it on good information that the owners of Manchester United went to the banks, the same people that Liverpool went to get a valuation for Liverpool, that the owners of Manchester United went to those people to get a valuation for United. And that I believe sooner or later, the Glazers would sell United. And I've said that repeatedly, that sooner or later, the Glazers would sell United. And I didn't just say that on a whim. I said that because That is the information that I was getting, right? That they have been looking at the feasibility and doing their due diligence behind the scenes, valuing the club. So, is United up for sale? Yes. Will they get the money they want? That is questionable.
Iffy.
But let's look at the people who would be interested in buying Manchester United. So, one of the groups of people that have a lot of people very excited is Apple. Yes, the company that makes iPhones. Apple is one of the people that are interested in Manchester United. Now, we all know Apple is a company, right? So when you hear Apple interested in Manchester United, that don't really say much to you. So we're talking about men like Art Livingston. We're talking about men like Tim Cook, Bruce Sewell, Al Gore. These are some of the men with heavy shares and on the board of Apple. Then you have investment groups worth billions of dollars, Vanguard Group and BlackRock. Now, if you're not into the financials, when you hear Vanguard Group and you hear BlackRock, these things mean absolutely nothing to you, right? But if you're into the financial business, or for those who are not into the financial business, these are unbelievably large companies that deal in shares. So their balance sheet is billions of dollars,
billions,
a trillion, and they have investments, they're investment companies. So you have money and you want to invest, you go to Vanguard and BlackRock. I ain't talking about $10 and thing, talking about millions of dollars. You want to invest, you go to these guys, they give them the money and they take it and invest it, and they give you a return. So these are the people who own Apple. So let me throw it out to the panel. Who here would be interested in Manchester United being owned by Apple? What do you all think about that?
Mm-hmm. Well, I must start because it's not bad. And if you look at the partnership history of United, I don't know if Apple if they were ever approached, or if they ever tried to get to partner, because you had Hublot, you had these types of companies that with partnerships in terms of the sponsorships and the name and the brand and other American companies as well, especially when Woodward was there. But having Apple in terms of they would have a solid financial foundation. But my concern is you could have all the money in the world, but if you don't have a true interest in your investment, for your investment to keep turning over for you by the means of leaving the football business to the people that you have in charge, then don't come by my club.
Let me go through all the rest of names, and then I will throw it out to you all, and you all will tell me who you want, who you prefer. Martin Phillip is asking Robert a question which he will answer a little later. He's saying, if the Emir of Qatar wish to buy United, would we be interested in selling to them? Well, we'll get to that. Courtney is saying it is alleged that the Sultan of Brunei, now people who may not know who the Sultan of Brunei is, Google him. He is one of the richest men on the planet, an unbelievably wealthy guy. So we have Apple, we have Amazon. Let me go back to Apple. Apple's yearly revenue is $260 billion. I didn't say that Apple is worth $260 billion. I said Apple's yearly revenue is $260 billion. So if Apple want to buy Manchester United, whether it's for 5.8, whether it's for 10, whether it's for 9, whether it's for 11, they have the money to do
that. Them could do that with the eye closed.
Right? So that is the yearly revenue. Amazon is valued right now at $943 billion. Jeff Bezos is the man in charge of Amazon. He's the owner of Amazon and owner of a lot of other things as well. We also are hearing that Amancio Ortega, a Spanish billionaire who is worth $45 billion, he made a lot of money out of textiles and clothing companies and stuff like that. But he's an Asian guy. He's not very youthful. He is interested. We have the Dubai, not the Qatari, but the Dubai royal family. Now, their sovereign wealth fund or invest, they don't call it that. That's what Saudi Arabians just call theirs. They call theirs an investment fund. Their investment fund is 239 billion. So far, everybody I call have the money. Right? All of them fellas have the money. Now we also know that there's Sir Ratcliffe, right? He, now, from my understanding, he is worth a little over 20 billion pounds. So maybe, right?
Right now, he at the bottom of the list.
He is one of the guys on the bottom of the list, but I believe, based on what he had said before, his intention was never to come in for United by himself. Right? So he's looking hopefully to build a consortium. The other person who's shown interest in building a consortium is David Beckham. David Beckham is a multi-millionaire, so clearly he's going to need people with a lot of financial backing if he is going to come in on that horse and get into that race. Clearly, with the amount of people showing genuine interest in Manchester United, the value of Manchester United is up there, right? The value of Manchester United is up there, and the demand is up there, because Liverpool put themselves up for sale 3 weeks ago. You haven't heard this kind of interest, right? It didn't generate this kind of interest. Manchester United went up for sale 3 days ago, right? And everybody who's a multi-billionaire jumping out of sell. So my general question to you all.
I missed something. So Liverpool ready up for sale?
Yeah.
Yeah, Liverpool put themselves up for sale 3 weeks ago.
Oh, but that's just that's just to tell you how it's not important. Okay,
you
cool.
Understand? Let me tell you all something, The FIFA World Cup is going on right now. You all know what's trending on Twitter?
Manchester United.
Right? That is why all of these people and those companies interested, because that is how big, that is the reach, that is the impact that Manchester United has on the world. You understand? Now, that's for 2 reasons. 1, because we are for sale, and 2, because of the drama with Cristiano Ronaldo. So we've been trending for a little while before the World Cup started, and we still trending, even though the World Cup is going on right now. Immortal Joker 66 is saying, get the class of 92 to invest. The class of 92, which for people who don't know, that would include people like Beckham, Giggs, Neville, Scholes the insider there. I think a couple other guys they put up and they bought a football club. Them fellas don't have enough money, boy. Them fellas rich, but we talking billion. Them fellas
about paper.
Yeah, them fellas ain't smelling the kind of paper you need to buy Manchester United. I mean, and then also too, sometimes when you have too many football minds, they say too much cooks to spoil the brew. So each of them might have so many different visions for United that might even become more problematic. But the idea, I understand the sentiment. They get guys involved who love the club and have a desire. So, guys, you have Apple, you have Amazon, you have Mr. Ortega, you have the Dubai royal family, you have David Beckham and consortium, if he could build a big enough consortium, and others. You have Ratcliffe. So, talk to me, gentlemen. Give me your top 3.
After you say
number 1.
After you said Dubai, Apple, and Amazon, me hear nothing else. Me hear the remainder of the list. That was my top 3 there.
You ask, Immortal is asking how much did I say Apple was worth. I didn't say Apple was worth. I said how much Apple's yearly revenue. The yearly revenue is over 260 million.
Their yearly revenue is more than the worth of some of the other companies being called.
Exactly.
Dubai, Apple and Sir Ratcliffe.
As Rahul said there, you could have all the money in the world. Once you're not willing to leave
So Mark, give which one would you prefer out of your three that you called? Who would you say is your top choice and why?
the Dubai royal family. Because right now the World Cup is in Qatar. And Qatar is football crazy right now. And these people and them more football orientated because if I'm not mistaken is them people from Dubai own Man City, if I'm not mistaken. And them more seem to understand to leave the football running to the people who in charge of the football running. Them just, all right, you want this player, you're getting that player. You want this, you're getting that. Your facilities need an upgrade, we are upgrading facilities. And that's the kind of people we want. We don't just want people to buy Manchester United and say, all right, I own Manchester United, and that is it. Manchester United on the back burner. Yeah, that's my club. Yeah, but wherever. We want people who are interested in the football and in making the club better. That's why I will choose the Royal Dubai family.
Robert, what say you? What's your top three? And why you would pick the one you would pick first?
I would say the ones from Qatar first.
Dubai and Qatar is two different places.
Right. So I would say Qatar be my number one. Dubai will be my number two.
Mm-hmm.
And
Apple.
Yeah, because now I understand the whole thing with Sir Ratcliffe and whatever, and I understand the sentiment of
he's a United supporter,
right,
he's English.
But this is my thing, right? The owners of Chelsea, right, Abramovich, right? He wasn't a fan of Chelsea. He came to Chelsea and bought Chelsea. And said to these guys,
he became a fan of Chelsea.
Right. But at first he wasn't a fan. All he wanted to do, right, was just buy a club. He came in, bought a club, and chose to be the best. And he did whatever he had to do to be the best. The owners of Man City, very similar. They just bought the club. And they chose to make that club the best club in England. We have been going through this thing of going back in the past. You know, if it's with ex-players, managers, people, pundits. For me, the owners need to be moving forward. I don't want to see any ex-player involved in this purchase. No Beckham, no Scholes, no Cat 99. I don't want to see anybody because they have a bias to the club, and they may not necessarily want to make the very hard decisions that you can't make because you are emotionally invested in the club. You love the club, so let's just say that Beckham and these guys buy the club, and they have to unfortunately fire Paul Scholes. Who's going to fire Paul Scholes? Beckham? No.
Yeah, we've seen the challenges with the old boy network.
Right. Thank you. That is what I was trying to get to. Yes, the old boy network. And one of our big problems is we keep going back in the past. Why? And I'll go back to even Sir Alex Ferguson. He is a remnant of the past. We all love him and we all respect him. But he himself we need to let go of even him to move forward. We have to. It will hurt, yes, but we have to do it because Liverpool did it. They got rid of Dalglish and all their history, right, when FSG came in, and they made a new history. They made a new legacy for themselves. Now the history now is Salah and Mane and Firmino. That now is their legacy. You understand? So I want people who will come to this club, who will be able to watch the club with a very unbiased eye
With a
and
fresh
see,
pair of eyes.
yes, and see all the things that are right and all the things that are wrong. Fix things that are wrong, no matter how much it hurts. Even if men had to cry, even if I or you, even if they say, you know what, if it means getting rid of Eric and Hag, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that I want this to happen, but I'm just saying if that is one of the things that have to happen for us to win the league in 3 years' time, all right, then that's what have to happen. If it is that, if it means getting rid of certain players, certain backroom staff, whatever it is that has to happen now. And we have to be very, very careful as to who we bring in, because remember, these owners will be our owners for the next 20 years, 30 years
You know,
plus.
one of the things I have always said is, as much as I like everybody else, but I'm Glazers out. My biggest concern is that we don't jump from the pot into the fire,
Into the fire.
because Newcastle know what that is like, right? You so dislike your present ownership, you just want something else, and then the person you get after is worse than the person you have now. Right now, Newcastle ended up in a good position because Ashley ended up selling the club,
Yeah.
and now you know the Saudi Arabian Royal Family Wealth Fund is the major shareholder in the of Newcastle. So they're in a better spot now, but for a period of time, things were not
Was a
going well
problem.
at Newcastle because of that. Raul, before I come to you, I just want to ask a question. Courtney is saying in the comments that we don't want Jeff, and by Jeff he means the owner of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. Why it is you don't want him, Courtney? What was your reasoning for that? And Immortal Joker is saying, just as long as they upgrade Old Trafford and finally get the cliff upgraded and the rest of the facilities for every single level of the
Upgraded.
club. For people who don't know what the cliff is, that's where we used to train. We do it at Carrington, but that's what he's referring to, Carrington and the other training facilities. Courtney is saying Jeff Bezos, he doesn't see him as a football person. Raul, give me a top three and give me your reason for your number one.
Apple number 3, Qatar number 2, and Dubai number 1. Because being attached to the biggest club in the world and then partnering with possibly Saudi Arabia to host the bid for 2030. You understand where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
Football centered, football centric, and all of them don't, they know everybody. It's like Trinidad, right? Everybody know everybody, and they're talking. So obviously the owners who are shares in Newcastle talking, those who are shares in City talk, everybody talking to everybody, so they would have an idea what they need to do. And is a genuine care for the football and success, and they understand that when the club is doing well, they do well.
Let me ask you this, Raul.
And that's it.
There are a lot of people in the UK, United supporters, that don't want us owned by a royal family. Right? Everybody around here, I haven't given my opinion as yet. I'm going to share mine just now. But everybody, and even in the comments, you know, everybody is putting the Qatari or the Dubai royal family, they're saying, yeah, right? That's our number one and our number twos. But there's a sentiment that, you know, because of a lack of freedom, as some people will call it, as far as I'm concerned, if you're a Muslim nation and you grew up in a Muslim nation that base their laws upon your your holy book, in their case the Quran. I don't think not being able to LGBTQ not being a central part of their system and not being legal, I don't see that as being a lack of freedom. Right? Women having to wear burqas and certain things, not being able to walk around in short pants. I don't see that as being a lack of freedom. But that is me. And the reason I say that is if you're born and you live and you grow up in a place, and that is what you're accustomed to,
You get
that's what
accustomed
you're
to that.
accustomed to. But people in the West that feel that whatever we do home by us, we should be able to do wherever we want. Right?
As you-
For those people, they have issues. Now we have to also remember that one royal family and all royal families are not the same.
True.
The Qataris were accused of poor work conditions in their rushing to build the World Cup stadiums. But generally, they don't you don't hear about beheadings and the kind of stuff you would hear about in Saudi Arabia that you would hear about in Qatar. Again, Dubai, you don't hear about certain things. Arab Emirates. So you can't just some people just they hear an Arabian royal family and they think, yeah, well, all of them just backward. Right? That's the attitude. All of them just backward, all of them anti-civil rights, this, that, the other. But people need to do a little research. Everybody is not the same. All of these countries are different. They may be very similar, but have similar laws, but the way they may execute those laws are different. You understand? In Saudi Arabia, they'll hang people up and leave them dangling off of trains for a couple of days, for you to pass and see, just to remind you that you break the law, that'll happen to you. I've never heard about that in some of these other places, right? So let's just say that Dubai and Qatar is not Iran and is not Saudi Arabia. But what would you say to those people who are like, watch, that part of the world, the laws are a bit draconian, and we used to complain about City being owned by oil money. We used to complain about PSG being owned by oil money. I don't want my club to be owned by oil money. What would you say to those people, Raul?
I different, right?
No, I think we as Caribbean people will have a different
I
perception.
I will tell them, I said, first thing I'll hit them the nice side of it. Put yourself in their shoes or put yourself to live in those conditions or look at what you have. And when they come to live here, why do we ridicule them for their ways when they come here? It's vice versa. When we go, they come and abide by our laws. Why we can't go there and abide by their laws?
Well,
Right?
remember that would be the
So,
ownership, eh? Saudi
right?
Arabia is the majority owner of Newcastle. I
Right.
don't see Saudi Arabia telling the players that all you have to wear
No,
different things, all you have to
so this
change
is
all your
so
diet,
this is where so this is where I'm going to. This is where I'm going to. I say so the people who have the mindset that the culture is going to filter down to the ownership, I have to tell them no. The ownership is separate and apart from the runnings of the club. The club is still English based. The club is just has ownership or main investors being from that country. And just cite and I will also cite, look at Newcastle, look at ESG, look at Manchester City, look at the clubs. Have you seen any difference in their operations other than that they are performing in the league? And I say, and this is what we have to look at, and they are about the business end and the success end of the club. Because I'll come back to my point, they understand we invest to get returns, and returns come with success. It's simple as that.
right? And
No rocket science,
Simple.
so now my take on it is this. I agree I would prefer one of, Dubai. If Qatar interested, Qatar royal family. And my rationale is simple. Apple and Amazon are businesses. Businesses are run by boards. Board members who may not have any kind of interest in Manchester United. All they would see Manchester United as is another asset. No. Is Apple well run? Yes. Is Amazon well run? Yes. So you would say, well, based on that, maybe they will want to run the club well and efficiently. We don't want the club run well and efficiently. I need to let football fans understand something and only listen to what I'm saying clearly. We complain about the Glazers taking money out of the club. The Glazers used to take a 10 million here, a 11 million here. Manchester United's revenue has been consistently north of $200-400 million a year. Right? That is the overall revenue, not profit, revenue. And they used to take 10, 11 when you hear they pull money. I think the most they ever took at one time was about 18 million over the time that we've been on. And we used to complain about that. $10 million a year, and we vex, oh, they're taking out $10 million out of the club. Mind you, you can't buy a player for $10 million. Eh?
Correct.
Right? But we used to
Correct.
complain. Why we complaining? Because we who love the club, who spend our money on merchandise, who spend our money on membership, we want to see the money invested in the club. When an American owner, when a business buys Manchester United, they're going to run us as what? Business. And if they're running us as a business and they decide they want return on their investment, they're not going to spend $5 billion to sit down there and just see it make money and buy more and more expensive players and reinvest. No, at some point they're going to want return on the investment.
Correct.
Royal families, on the other hand, what they want is something different. They want prestige. Buying a Manchester United come like buying a Rolls Royce. The Rolls Royce not going on work taxi to pay for itself. It is there to look good. I'll put rims on my Rolls Royce. Well, at least they do. Right? They will take diamonds and put studs in the steering wheel and all kind of craziness. Right? Gold rims and things they want to put because they want their car to be the flashiest. Hence the reason why PSG does break rules to spend money. Why Man City does break rules to spend money. And then when you look at the clubs that are including in short time, less than a year, Newcastle has been owned by the Saudi Arabian royal family. And look at what they have been doing. When I look at these clubs owned by royal families in that part of the world, I see success. When I look at clubs owned by American owners,
the pressure.
It's not the same. Right? It's not the same. It's not the same. There's some
pressure.
Arsenal recently, the major shareholder at Arsenal is an American. Chelsea recently, is an American. Time will tell. Right? Arsenal is looking good. Chelsea a little wobbly, but the organization will take time to get its feet. But there are a lot of other owners. Why is HSB leaving Liverpool? Anybody ever asked themselves that? The reason they're leaving Liverpool is because they realized, they bounced their head and thought when they were buying a football club, it was like American clubs, right? That turn out a profit and the owner makes money from the club. They bought Liverpool and started to realize that if they take money out of Liverpool, they would lose the fans. They would lose the support.
Yep.
So they're like, why we have this investment that keeping us up at night? We had to work to make it effective. We had to spend money to get the best players, the best coaches, keep the facilities up to mark. They were building a new stadium and all kind of thing. We had to do all of this for what? Tanks? No. American businessmen are interested in that. What are we doing this for tanks for? So that is why they're selling. And the Glazers realize as well that owning Manchester United is hurting their other brands and hurting their other businesses because of the Glazers Out campaign. And that is why they have been checking to sell the club for a while. So my thing is simply this. Based on who I think, well, we don't need a sugar daddy. Right? We are not Chelsea. We are not Man City. We are not PSG. We are not even Newcastle. We make enough money. This club makes enough money for it to run itself. We could continue to grow. We could continue to pay our debts. We could buy players. Manchester United generates enough revenue for it to run itself. We don't need a sugar daddy. However, we need people who want to win, who doesn't just see Manchester United as just another asset. Right? They must see Manchester United as the granddaddy, the big pearl, the biggest pearl, the biggest in the crown.
Yeah.
That's what we want. And for me, the only people I'll do that is members of these royal families. Again, it's not because we need the investment. We don't need the investment. We just need them. We need people who want to win. And I think that is what some of these European supporters of the club need to get out.
You got to remember, right, with these families, right, it is competition. Because if, let's just say 4 of us here are 4 families living in Dubai, we each have a horse. Chad Horse wins the crown last year. This year, I want to win. So I'm going to do whatever I have to do to win. Right? And then try to come back and win again. And what Chad's going to do? He's going to come and boast. He'll come by my house and boast. Look at my horse. My horse win. He'll go by Raoul's house. Hey, look at my horse win. These guys are ultra competitive. These guys just want to one up each other. So the family that owns Man City right now, they saying, but look at us, we winning. PSG owners be able, look at us, we winning. When they buy Manchester, what do you think that they're gonna do?
Upgrade to win.
To win, because these guys don't know anything else except win. Their whole life is either we win or my cousin come in my house every day and bragging in my face. Look at me, I'm a club. What you have? Who's your club? Arsenal, ha ha ha. You win nothing.
Guys, and that is exactly it. That's why I say this is about prestige for these fellas.
Yeah.
It's not about an asset that could turn over money. It's not about making profit. It's prestige. And when somebody buys something for prestige, their attitude towards it is different. You understand? When a man buy a car to work to make money off of it, and he out there working taxi and this and that is one thing. When a man buy a car for prestige, the way he treat that car is totally different.
Yeah.
Every day. That car going to get washed out twice every day.
It's like they have the Burj Khalifa, right? That is the tallest building right now. Right now, there's an ex-man right now trying to build something taller than that.
Yeah, they're outdoing each other. This statement here is very significant, and I want to read it. So Courtney is saying, but you all forget a major thing with this sale and the proposal. The new owners have to be approved. And all I have to say is this. If the Saudi Arabian royal family, which is considered the most egregious, committed the most egregious sins in that part of the world, if they could buy Newcastle, I don't think any royal family will have a problem buying Manchester United. Because nobody, unless it's the Taliban, trying to buy it.
Yeah. They got no problem.
I ain't seeing no problem.
It don't matter. You know why it don't matter, dog?
Well, yeah.
That's, once the box big enough.
Yeah. You know, and I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah. I appreciate. Well, not they try. That deal was blocked for some years. Saudi Arabia had a couple loops to go through and knots to tie before that deal was was finalized. But you know, I appreciate the Amazons and the Apple's interest. As I say, my concern, I wouldn't cry. I would, whoever buy the club, I'll wait and see. But my concern is just where would we sit among the other assets that these people own? Is Jeff Bezos going to consider Manchester United more valuable than the New York Post, for example? And by more valuable, I'm not talking about the dollar value on the club versus the dollar value of the New York Post. I'm talking, you know, in his mind, is he going to consider Manchester United more important than some of his other assets? And that's my biggest issue. But let's move along. I'm hearing a lot of talk these days, guys. And the talk from a lot of people is that Cristiano Ronaldo is responsible for our present situation. That he shone a light on it. His bombshell interview is what has caused the Glazers to capitulate. Right? Now, I know for a fact that that's not true. Simply because of what I said earlier. You know, that the owners have been examining the practicality of selling the club for months. When they first went to Saudi Arabia, or since then, and that was like 2 years ago, that was before Khashoggi got assassinated. Right? That's how long ago the owners have been mulling the idea of selling Manchester United. But what do you all think about that argument? That somehow Ronaldo is a hero in this, that he helped, his bombshell interview helped expedite things. Where you all stand on that argument? Because up to today, a couple men fighting me down. You're not going to watch the game, right? And men fighting me down and they're telling me, no, it's Ronaldo. It's Ronaldo.
Right? Anything, the people say anything to get Ronaldo the spotlight right now. To make him look like a good guy after what he said in that interview.
So none of you all think that his interview is responsible for this.
No.
Because okay, like again, this is coming from me, who I've never shied away from saying I am a huge fan of Ronaldo. Even now, I am, and that won't change, right? However, the interview that he did was shit. His behavior was very pissy, right? Him being fired was the correct decision because he was fired. He didn't leave. He was fired. This interview had nothing to do with the sale. And it doesn't matter how much Piers Morgan, who is an Arsenal fan, by the way, who tried to stoke Manchester fans, right, into believing Ronaldo. When you don't understand, Piers Morgan is doing everything that he wants for himself because he's all about Piers Morgan. Ronaldo's interview had nothing to do with the sale. Nothing. It just so happened that the two things just so happened to coincide.
Yeah.
But one had nothing to do with the next. Nothing.
Raul, I personally believe that all the people so I walk in an establishment today, right? As I walk in the door, men recognize man. Men say, come. And who say that Ronaldo is the man responsible? One man arguing against. So they're asking me my opinion. And I stand up and I point at the two men who saying that Ronaldo is the man responsible. The interview. I say, you not a United supporter, you not a United supporter. I don't know the men from Adam, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So hear them, how you know that? I say, I know that because if you were a United supporter, you'd never have that opinion.
Correct.
You would understand a Ronaldo interview had nothing to do with this. But because you're looking at it from the outside, right? Because you don't understand, you don't know how long the fans have been Glazers out. This movement didn't start yesterday. This movement didn't start last.
Exactly.
This movement has been going on for a long time. The attacks on Nike, the attacks on Adidas website, the Nike before, Adidas now, the attacks on the Glazers, other businesses. You know, we have been concertedly working chipping away at this Glazer family ownership for a long time. And for anyone to think that Ronaldo just come, drop an interview, and the Glazers like, yeah, I fed up with this. Yeah, we show it. No, but can't be a United supporter. But that is just my thoughts. What say you, Ram?
I don't take on useless chatter. So you are in several groups with me, chat groups, and you realize I don't say much. But when I do, it has hit hard. because when you're on shit, you're on shit. Sorry, I just have to put it down. But they only talking all the a-hole because they don't know the inner workings and runnings of what's going on with United. We follow it closely. They're just watching whatever on the outside and believing. So it's not to take them on. And furthermore, you could probably say that Ronaldo was probably like the cherry on top, all our whipped cream and thing. That was big.
Probably, yeah, but at most.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's what I say now. That's what I say. But that was his contribution to what we as fans have been dealing with for however long. It's like, that's why I don't take them on. I tell them, and anytime you see them on that useless chat, I tell them, all these Closet United fans. Also, because all they only studying our business more than all they own.
Correct.
So after we talk, right? Both of them start to laugh and they watch me. They say we really don't support United in true. One is a Real Madrid fan, and I can't remember who the next one to support. And I tell them one time, I know that. I know that real United fans understand certain things. You understand? There have a lot of people out here that are Cristiano Ronaldo fans.
Correct.
You have no problem with that. Nothing wrong with that.
We have no problem with that.
Nothing is wrong with that. But do start to run your mouth on Manchester United when you don't understand anything about Manchester United, right? Live in blissful ignorance. Now, gentlemen, Manchester United and Ronaldo has parted ways officially. Cristiano Ronaldo is a free agent. He can go anywhere, including to another Premier League club. We parted ways without having to pay Ronaldo the 17 million on his salary. We parted ways without going to court to sue him for breach of contract in terms of the interview and bringing the club into disrepute. It was a nice clean break. The official line from the club is that, we don't want to tarnish the relationship and the legacy of Cristiano Ronaldo, so we didn't want it to get messy.
He do that all by himself.
Well, I was not going to say they didn't want it to get more messy because Ronaldo made it messy in the first place, right? But now that is the case, I have one question before we roll into Top Shotta and Booboo, and is this. What's the view of Ronaldo now? We have a lot of time between now and January to talk about prospects and this and that and the other. But you keep it simple. What is your view of Ronaldo at this moment right now? We start off with Robert.
Start with who?
Robert.
Okay.
The other R. Okay.
All right. I will say like this. You have to, I guess, there is the Ronaldo that came by us as a little boy and grew into the beginnings of a superstar. All right. Now, some people call Ronaldo a legend of this club. I personally think that he's a great of this club, but not a legend because he wasn't here long enough. Yes, he won a Ballon d'Or. Yes, he won a Champions League. Yes, but he wasn't here long enough to really cement that legacy status. Not like the Paul Scholes, the Rooney's, the Giggs, the Roy Kings. These guys cemented their name, into the hollow halls now of legends. He went to Real Madrid. He is a Real Madrid legend. Right? He's not a Manchester legend. He's a Real Madrid legend. what we did as fans, unfortunately, is that, we took his accomplishments at Real Madrid and put them on us. That was not right. His things there, that was his things. That's what he did. So like him coming back to the club in hindsight was a mistake. All right, it was in hindsight. Yes, we was all here when he was signed. We all jumped up and down. We were all happy. That game against Newcastle, the man scored a goal and the man went sue, and we all went sue, but and it was a beautiful time. But they say never go back. They say that never go back. Never, ever, ever go back. Ever. It don't matter how sweet your ex look. She is the same bad thing you left. Nothing changed. It's just more wear and tear on the model. Right? It's more wear and tear now. So the interview was in poor taste. Yes. Was did he deserve all the backlash from fans? Yes. Because the man put that on himself. Right? And I myself would say that he moved like a real cacahole. It have the other word, the C word that ends in T, right? I would say it. He did, right? But
for people who not from the Caribbean and may not know what that word means.
He was a consummate commandant.
Exactly.
That is a word that we usually in the Caribbean use to refer to the bottom.
Yes.
Right?
He was a bottom.
Yes.
So that is Robert is saying, he moved like a smelly parts. Carry on.
You understand? No, but all that said and done, my feelings on him hasn't changed because I knew who he was. We all knew he was a petulant child when he left. We saw through his career. So I don't know why men are surprised that he's a child now. He has always been about himself. He's self-driven, and that is why he is the best. Because he is self-driven by himself. These
All
men,
about him.
right? But you don't understand, to be great, right? You have to be selfish, which is sad, but it is true. So my feelings haven't changed. He is still a bottom for doing what he did. Personally, right? He's still a big, gigantic backside. You had no right to go on the interview. You had no right to say them things. However, you get what you want. You're free. Right? You get what you want. So wherever he goes, I wish him luck. Wherever he goes. I will still keep my jersey. Right? I'm not like other men who now will act as though the man didn't exist. I don't cancel people. I don't move so. If you're my friend, you're my friend. Even if you are a cacahole, you're my cacahole. Understand the scene now. Right? Understand the vibe.
Ladies only hear that. Robert is the kind of fellow you need to go behind. A faithful guy.
Faithful. I with you.
Once all the break up.
Well, yeah, that's
it. Come back.
Yeah,
don't come back.
Don't come back.
Come back. Go check for back.
Nah.
Mark,
don't care how good you see me looking.
What's your personal feelings about Ronaldo right now?
Deep down inside, Ronaldo was always about Ronaldo. But deep down inside, he was hoping, he's for club, man. He's not that kind of player. Because people used to be telling me that. My cousin used to be telling me that. He said, boy, Ronaldo is for Ronaldo. And I say, man.
I was hoping that relationship with Sir Alex, that relationship with the club.
Yeah.
It's a little more than that. We worth a little more than that thing.
You understand? So, when they announced that he was coming back to the club, my cousin, she living in England, she messaged me. She said, "Cuz, that is not a good idea. Ronaldo going and mash up all the club, eh?" And I was like, "No, girl. CR7 coming back, he'll help the younger players, he'll help everybody, he'll score goals, and things could be nice again, man." No, you know, she calling me and laughing at me now. She says, "See what I tell you?" She says, "See what I tell you?" But bit by bit, I started to see it for myself too and say, "Well, this man is about himself, boy." When Rannick was coaching, take him off, you sulking, thing, Tenag come, you still sulking, you were playing time, and you know, your body just cannot do the things it was doing previous years. At that top level, you just can't perform at that top level as you used to be. But still deep down inside, saying, "Yeah, boy, now boy, Mark, boy, Ronaldo go show up this game. Yeah, he go show up." I'm still waiting for him to show up.
Jackass.
Yeah. Yeah, understand? But my image of Ronaldo right now, he'll still be one of the greatest of all time, alongside Messi. Two of the greatest of all times in this era here. And I just grateful I get to see his talent. But you see the move he made there and things that he said in that interview, he lost real points with me there. No, if you want to leave, like you want to leave your woman, you want to leave your wife, you're fed up, right? But you just don't know how to leave your wife, boy. And you just go on here, you make a small rap, and she reply and say, "Yeah, that is it, they are done."
You go on social media and love
Yeah. This girl is the worst thing. Think. Now, if you know you want to go, you know, he could have come and talk to the Glazers and them say, "You already see. X amount of time remain on my contract still. Let me squash it. I want to go so. All you have to pay me nothing." All that what happened now. That he could have do that in a nice, decent way. You know, to go by no Arsenal fan to do an interview.
No, you know why? They wanted to keep him.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing, right? And I will get people vexed. But I don't business. You gotta blame the man, Sir Alex Ferguson.
Alex Ferguson. Yeah, I was getting to that. He had to take some blame too.
All.
If it wasn't for Alex Ferguson, Ronaldo would never be here right now.
Exactly.
They call the man, say, hey son, remember your dad dead, and I know, and I hear now. Come now.
Yeah. The same city you didn't want him go by. He a free agent and he could go there now. You understand? Not that City go want him.
Right, no. Yeah.
They wasn't as interested in him as he made it out to be the first time around. I don't think they come in and turn wrong to come and buy him.
No.
So exactly.
No.
Raul?
If any team in England want Ronaldo as a free agent, I will be shocked.
Jablote looking for a striker.
I think the only team that will be willing to do that is Chelsea. But time will tell.
Mm-hmm.
Raul, I know you have some Ronaldo jerseys as well.
No, I don't. Past tense. I used to have Ronaldo when he was at Real Madrid.
Oh, okay.
But after that stint, I don't put no man's name on my back but mine.
Well, I know you like me. If you put a number, is 7, and if you put a name, is yours. That is one thing we share in common.
Most of what was they've said. Most of what I was gonna say. It is. You know the person. You know everybody has their 3 sides, and you just hoped for the best that the mixture was right, and that he genuinely would have tried to impart in a humble way knowledge and stuff onto the youth and thing and the other guys in the club. But we know, and I agree, that if you have to be successful, you have to be selfish at times. But his selfishness is also part of his downfall. Right?
Correct.
Because it comes out on the field of play as well. And then you now have, I just digressing a little bit. You have everybody trying to feed you, to feed your ego, because of your selfishness and wanting to build your legacy, which is counterproductive to what the team was trying to do. So I love him as an athlete, as a footballer, he does his good and his philanthropy at times, but the selfish attitude, we could do without. Thank you very much. It was nice. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Move on.
Yeah. Because he made a statement.
I mean, there's very little for me to say, after all they say all of that. Yeah. All I have to say, all I would add is this. Everybody would have heard me say numerous times, I hope Ronaldo have a real good World Cup. Hope he score a lot of goals, because I want his value to go up so that we could get rid of him in January, right? Even before the interview, I was saying that, right? The only thing that has changed, do I still love Ronaldo? Yes. Do I still consider Ronaldo one of the top 5 players to ever kick a football? Yes. For anybody who is wondering, I do have him above Messi in that regard, but I don't consider any of them the GOAT of football, but that's just me. But they're in the conversation, right? They're in the conversation. The only thing that has changed for me is all I want to see Ronaldo score in the World Cup is penalties. I want Lolo to have a good World Cup. I want Bruno to have a good World Cup. Ronaldo could suck rocks as far as I'm concerned. You understand? He didn't look too youthful today.
Nope.
And he could continue to look just so. I want the conversation after the World Cup to be Portugal did well in spite of. You understand? Not he carried Portugal, but the team carried him. That is what I want. Right? And one could say, oh, it's sour grapes and this and no. I wanted him to be successful to help him get out. Get out now. The only success
you could only
I want him to have is if Portugal meet Argentina, I want him to beat Messi.
Yes.
That's the only success.
That game, he could score a hat-trick in that game.
He could score, yeah. In that game, he could score a goal. Or 2 or 3. But you see all the others? Now look at bust out from here, boy. Now look at bust out from here.
But
remember,
let this be a lesson,
right? You don't chase records. Records are chased here.
Right,
yeah, that's good.
Let this be a lesson, right? To all young men out there. Don't ever take back your girl. Ever.
Don't ever what? Hit back your girl, you say?
Take back.
Or take back.
Oh. Ever.
I just want to know how. I was not going to ask how we reached there.
Ever.
No boomerang.
Ever. It don't matter how nice you look. Even if you go, right, and she make you lunch and dinner. No. Okay? No.
Do you eat that food, boy?
No.
She might come back in it, yes? Yeah, don't eat that food. She bring food for you out of the blues, sit thanks. And when she gone, throw it.
Yeah, son.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about relationship advice. So we get into the final segment of the show. Top Shotta and Booboo Man. What is your top Shotta and Booboo Man? The top Shotta is that player, sports personality, club, manager, whoever that is having an absolutely amazing week. And the Booboo Man is the complete opposite. That is somebody who's just having a totally failed week. Which one of you gentlemen want to go first this week? All right, go ahead, Mark.
My top Shotta is Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
And fellas flying high.
I love Saudi. Right? You see that? All they do there Monday? It's Monday, right? Yeah, Monday. I love Ole, bye. I love Ole. I know Ole World Cup could done. Ole could get knocked out now. I don't care. But I love Ole, bye. You see, Alba Booboo, you see all them people and them who say Argentina get robbed. But I wish all Ole get there and all Ole toilet locked and the neighbor no home. Yeah, stop that stupidness, boy. Yeah. Ole is my boo-boo boy. Because if Ole did win, Ole would not be saying nothing about robbery or nothing at all. For them men and them, they know themselves, you know. I saw they can see this. Yes, I see it. They need to rest. Ole go and rest up. Right? Rest up. Yeah.
All right. Raul, Shotta and Booboo.
Oh, I have a couple boo-boos, right? A couple boo-boos.
Go ahead, man.
Off Keith Booboo, the first one. Davies from Canada.
Gosh, boy.
I had to give him that. How you go pass the ball to the keeper?
Yeah,
Oh.
boy. Failure,
Oh.
boy. Failure.
Right?
And shoot that chewing gum gunner.
Watch it. The other boo-boo is all them Spain fans that feel they're going further than the quarterfinals in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Because that game against Costa Rica is you see how it goes against Germany.
Wait, now, that was Costa Rica to play?
Yeah.
I could have swear that was some of my phones.
Right? So, my top shutter, you can't get one top shutter for you. You have to get a coach from Saudi Arabia, his plaudits, for a very well played tactical game.
Yeah.
As well as having his team well drilled and the fitness, boy. The fitness. I watch a Saudi Arabia fella who playing that 90-something minutes, sprinting full tilt at 93 minutes in the game.
Yeah. Like he know, come on.
Right? You gotta give him Saudi Arabia. You also have to give Japan.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to go there because
they themselves played a very good game. And then you also have to give the man of the moment today. You gotta give Richarlison his
Oh, yeah.
That is a fantastic finish. Bubble, he turned, and this is why we say, and this is one of the things I used to say when I used to do art in school. There's no such thing as a mistake. His bad control, he turned it into a fantastic
masterpiece. He turned it into goal at the tournament so far.
True.
So, like what Robert was saying, if you have a bad B, if you have a bad, you know to get better from it afterwards, right? Right, Robert?
But still, don't go back.
Just don't go back.
Just don't go back.
Robert, them fellas and them shooting straight today, boy. Who's your top shutter and Booboo?
My top shutter, I mean, it had to be actually no. My top shutter is Messi. Right? Messi is my top shutter. Because Messi came out today, right? He came out on that day and showed the world why he can never be the best ever. Right? So for that alone, dog.
What I think about me calling it, you know.
You would take top shutter. And but I also had to big up the Saudis. These men came out and they run because people forget Argentina, right? It's a very old squad. Right? With an old Messi. You had Di Maria and all these other old men on the team. And then my boo-boo, right? I have a few. One, the coach of Argentina, right? How dare you not play the butcher? If you had played the butcher, you was never gonna lose that game. But after you lose and you bring him on for to do what? Right? To do what?
True.
You are a waste of time. One. Two. All them messy people and them who swear we gonna beat everybody. No, beat who? You can't beat Saudi Arabia. Right? Messi will never be the best. Failure, but three. Again, this is very controversial, right? But my real boo-boos is the English FA and the US men's soccer team. The English FA, mainly Harry Kane, who came out on a statement, big and bold face, talk about, I am an ally to these people, right? I'm an ally to the LGBTQ community. I'm an ally. I stand for you. I stand for you. The man made a post. They said to him, if you go on the field, you will get a yellow card and a fine. The English FA, Harry Kane, backed down. They backed down, which proved to me that they don't believe in what they say. If you're gonna go bat for people, do it. Because if he had done it, if he and the whole team had gone on that field and showed real support, they would have come out like the heroes. They would have. It would have looked like a real stand for them. But it just showed that these people are cowards. They're cowards and they're liars. So for everybody, right? For all those who feel as though these people care about you, they don't. They don't care about you. Your family cares about you. Your friends care about you. These people don't care about you. They don't. So Harry Kane, English FA, US men's national team, all y'all who backed down from the pressure of Qatar and took their money, all of y'all take boo-boo of the week. All of you.
All right. So my top shotter for the week is just all the Manchester United players. You know, Brazil went up 2 goals and they brought on Fred. You know, and I knew they would have. I actually predicted it. I was saying, you know, well, yeah, they're going to buy 2 goals. They're going to bring on Fred to help close out the game. So said, so done.
And he nearly scored too.
Casemiro had some beautiful passes into the box. That guys just didn't finish. Bruno Fernandes, 2 assists. You know, who else?
Sure.
Luke Shaw.
There's Andrew Martinez for coming on and doing pretty well. So he should, if he doesn't get the nut to start next game, something's wrong with that.
Right.
No. Don't start. It's okay. Don't start.
You called Luke Shaw as well. Luke Shaw.
Right,
And
Luke Shaw with an assist. Rashford with a goal. Harry Maguire with an assist.
Hey.
Palestri started for Uruguay today.
He had a decent game.
Hannibal came on for Tunisia.
Ericsson.
All the United players are having a really good World Cup. So big up to them. Those are my top shotters. The United players that's shining in the World Cup. For us. As far as my boo-boo is Cristiano Ronaldo. You know? Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo is my boo-boo.
I could just add one thing to the chat. What's first? He's so insignificant, we couldn't even make the my boo-boo list.
No, I hear you and I agree. You know, one of the things we probably would not be talking about too much is when he gets a new club. We're not going to have a whole segment on it. We might just mention it in passing. Because the truth is, now that he's gone, as the same way I don't want him to do anything and I don't care if he does anything for the World Cup unless they meet Argentina. I just really not interested, you know, and I'm glad that not going to have that drama. We're not going to have that drama anymore. Women's football is still going on. Manchester United women team taking on Aston Villa next Saturday at Old Trafford. So make sure and look at that on TV if you get a chance. And Garrett is sending in his top shutter. His top shutter is the women's team for their classic Man United come from behind the victory to end Arsenal's undefeated run at the Emirates. And his boo-boo is Ronaldo for only thinking about himself. Well said, my brother. Couldn't put it any better. Remember, like, subscribe, share. We've got a signed poster from the man Eric Cantona himself to give away at the end of the season once we reach 2,000 likes. So, come on, people. Let's do it. This is President Chad and everybody else on the channel saying, Red Devils, we don't die.
We just go and play for Brazil.